Have you ever had a coworker take credit for your work? Or maybe your manager gave harsh feedback in front of the team and you didn't know how to respond. Workplace confrontation is something most of us dread, but here's the truth. Avoiding confrontation can hurt your career just as much as handling it poorly. In this episode of the Work Chat, we're breaking down the best practices for handling workplace confrontation professionally, calmly, and effectively without burning bridges. By the end, you'll have the tools to turn conflict into opportunities for stronger relationships, better collaboration, and more respect at work. Let's get started. Hi everyone, welcome back to the Work Chat. Today, we're going to talk about the best ways to handle conflict professionally. Let's start with a mindset shift. Confrontation is not always negative. In fact, some of the most successful leaders credit their growth to learning how to have hard conversations early in their careers. Think about it. If you avoid issues, resentment builds. If you explode in the moment, you damage trust. But if you handle it with professionalism, you gain credibility. Workplace confrontation isn't about fighting. It's about clarity, boundaries, and respect. And this leads to our best practice number 1. Pause before you react. When emotions run high, our natural instinct is to react. But in the workplace, reactions can stick with you for years. Here's a quick tip. Take a pause. Write down what triggered you, and ask yourself, what outcome do I actually want from this confrontation? For example, if your teammate cut you off in a meeting, your goal isn't to win an argument. Your goal might be, I want to be heard and establish respect. That pause creates space between the event and your response. It moves you from reaction mode to strategy mode. Best practice number 2, confront privately, not publicly. Public confrontations almost always backfire. When you call someone out in front of others, they feel embarrassed, defensive, and less likely to hear your point. Instead, choose a private moment. You can frame it like this. Hey, can we have a quick chat? I want to talk about something from the meeting today. This creates psychological safety and ensures the focus stays on problem solving, not saving face. Best practice number 3, use I statements, not you accusations. One of the most powerful tools in confrontation is language. Compare these two. You never listen to me. Or, I feel unheard when my points get interrupted. See the difference? The first blames. The second expresses impact. I statements reduce defensiveness because they focus on your experience rather than attacking the other person's character. Best practice number 4, use the bottom line up front method. Time is valuable in the workplace. If you go into a confrontation with 10 minutes of build-up, you'll lose their attention. Instead, use the bottom line up front method. Say what the issue is, why it matters, and what you want. For example, the timeline change caught me off guard, and I want to make sure I can deliver on expectations. Can we clarify priorities? This keeps the conversation professional, efficient, and solution-focused. Best practice number 5, focus on behavior, not personality. Always separate what someone does from who they are. Instead of saying, you're so disorganized, try something like, when deadlines shift without notice, it makes it hard for me to plan my work effectively. Can we come up with a plan that works for both of us? You're addressing a behavior, not attacking their character. This keeps the conversation constructive rather than personal. Best practice number 6, offer solutions, not just complaints. Nothing kills credibility faster than being seen as someone who only brings problems. If you're confronting an issue, bring at least one solution to the table. For example, I noticed our updates sometimes get lost in long email threads. What if we use a shared tracker so everyone's aligned? This shifts you from complainer to collaborator. Best practice number 7, know when to escalate. Sometimes, despite your best effort, the conflict doesn't get resolved. Maybe the person keeps crossing boundaries or the issue impacts the team. That's when escalation is appropriate, but do it carefully. Instead of saying, I'm telling HR because you're impossible, frame it as, we've tried to resolve this directly, but I think we'd benefit from a mediator to help move forward. Escalation should be about resolution, not retaliation. Finally, best practice number 8, follow up. Confrontation doesn't end with one conversation. A follow-up helps rebuild trust and confirms progress. For example, "Thanks for talking the other day. I've noticed the updates are clearer now. It really helps." That acknowledgement reinforces positive change and strengthens the relationship. Here's a story that shows how confrontation, when handled right, can actually strengthen relationships. A project manager I knew had a team member who was constantly slipping on deadlines. She felt frustrated, but she also didn't want to damage the relationship by being too harsh. Instead of bottling it up, she scheduled a one-on-one and said, "I've noticed some deadlines have been slipping, and it's affecting the project timeline. What's getting in the way, and how can I support you?" Turns out, the team member was overwhelmed with unclear priorities. Together, they adjusted workloads, and not only did deadlines improve, but trust grew stronger. This is the power of confronting with curiosity, not hostility. All right, let's do a quick recap of the best practices for workplace confrontation. Here are 8 strategies you can start using right away. 1. Pause before reacting. Respond with intention, not emotion. 2. Confront privately. Avoid embarrassing public showdowns. 3. Use I statements. Reduce defensiveness with impact-focused language. 4. Use the bottom line up front method. Be clear, concise, and professional. 5. Focus on behavior, not personality. Attack the issue, not the person. 6. Bring solutions, not complaints. Show leadership in conflict. 7. Know when to escalate. Seek mediation if needed. And 8. Follow up. Reinforce progress and rebuild trust. At the end of the day, confrontation doesn't have to be destructive. Handled well, it can actually build stronger teams, healthier communication, and better leadership. So the next time you're faced with conflict, remember, it's not about winning the confrontation. It's about creating clarity and respect. That's a wrap for today's episode. If you found this episode helpful, hit like and subscribe to the Work Chat for more workplace tips and professional development strategies. And I want to hear from you. What's the toughest workplace confrontation you've faced, and how did you handle it? Share your story in the comments. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you in the next episode.